Oh, hey guys, and welcome to the after show for The Flash, Season 5, Episode 21, The Girl with the Red Lightning. So we got to get these metas to safety. Grace and Nora share one mind, and Thawne is up to no good. Also, stick around for news and gossip, and we're also going to touch on Episode 20, Going Rogue, because we missed y'all last week. Let's do this.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
And the buzz will begin indeed. What's going on, y'all? We got a little music here. I'm feeling like, I don't know. I feel like I'm in a video game with this.
Yeah, this is new.
Like, doink,
I like this.
doink, like I want to jump over, like, you know. I felt like Mario running for a second. Yeah. It was very colorful in my mind.
Sound.
Yeah. Welcome to the after show for The Flash, guys. We are on Season 5, Episode 21. Can you believe we made it this far? The Girl with the Red Lightning. So we want to talk about these metas and their need to get to safety. Nora and Grace, and they're sharing one mind and all of this red lightning. And Thawne up to no good, and we knew it, didn't we? We knew it, didn't we? Okay. And we're also going to touch on Gone Rogue, which was episode last week. Sorry we missed you guys, but thanks for loving us anyway. We try to get back to all your messages. But before we jump into this party, I'm your host, Jaimi Alexander, and Zach is back.
What up, guys? I am back. How's it going? I missed you.
Yes, we missed you very much. And of course.
And hey, y'all, it's Chauncey Robinson.
All right, y'all, so we're in the building talking all things Flash. So let's just really touch quickly on episode 20, which was last week. I know you guys all saw it, Gone Rogue. We had a few things going on in there. What did you guys think about the episode last week?
Yeah, so last week's episode, it was, I would say, more of a filler episode for me. We had some interesting stuff going on. It was nice to revisit some of the old baddies that we had on there. Weather Witch was her name, and the Bee Girl. But it was like a B-plot storyline. It was interesting to see Nora take advantage of the negative Speed Force, but it's hard to look at her and see her as an evil person, as a bad person. You know, she's just too goody two-shoes in my eyes and too childlike. And so it just didn't play for me so much. What did you think, Chauncey?
Yeah, I thought the episode had some good moments, and then I thought some things had to occur. One, her getting that gun to be able to, which was her plan all along, in order to shrink
The alloy for the meta, what was it, the satellite that they had?
Well, no,
and the dagger?
Well, it was more so to shrink the dagger. Yeah, exactly. And, so that needed to happen, but that pretty much came towards the end, right? So it's like a lot of the stuff was more so seeing, like
collecting
Zach said,
the team.
Yeah, collecting the team, kind of.
Getting the trust.
Yeah. It was an emotional episode in the sense of they needed that to repair the relationship between Barry and Nora before we got back to the overall plot, which was
it was so fast too. Like, Nora went evil very fast. It took very little, which begs the question of, like, where does that come from, considering who both of her parents are, and like they don't have an evil bone in them. And then it's just like such a quick switch as well, where Barry's just like apologizing, and Nora's like, "Oh, okay, all is well then." Like, you know, cool. All right, we can be good again. It was interesting enough though to led for more into this episode, so I understand why we had what it was. I just don't know how they could have done it differently. So.
Yeah, I have to agree with both of you guys. It was definitely necessary to have them repair the relationship with that. And then I guess kind of segue and get to the bigger point of what was going on with getting this gun in the first place, to kind of find a solution for Grace and her issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was also interesting because you got to see how Nora still had access to the negative Speed Force. So I don't know. I know there's been rumors and talk of Nora being in season 6, so that might be touched upon again with the negative Speed Force. But only time will tell.
Yeah, and I think, and I kind of want to jump into this a little bit more when we get into the current episode of what this episode once again was. It was very focused on Nora, and I think for a good amount of this season, we've had a lot of focus on Nora, and I think that's fine. Although, and I think this current episode, which we'll get into, will kind of, I want to touch upon, like, what was an underlying issue, I guess, that I didn't really notice until this particular episode. But I think the last episode kind of touched on it too. That I just feel like I don't know, everything that Barry has done has been in relation to this character, so much so that I feel like he's not the leader of his own plot.
Nope.
Anymore.
Agreed.
Or of his show.
This whole season.
And I didn't feel that at first in the first half when it was about him adapting to things and dealing with maybe I have a daughter and all this other stuff. But somehow in the second half onward, it really became, it's like one of those shows when I don't know if anyone ever watches Sailor Moon, but when Chibi Moon came around, and like that was their, it's literally the same plot line. Oh my gosh, it was the same plot line.
They stole from Sailor Moon.
Oh my gosh.
She was evil, right?
Yeah, she was evil. She actually did evil really well though in that cartoon. But the daughter comes from the future, and suddenly the cartoon, which actually anime, the anime suddenly became very focused on this young character, and you're almost kind of like, well, I know I felt at the time like I didn't sign up for this. I signed up to watch Usagi and Serena, So it was, and I kind of felt like this for the last half of the season. This episode and this next one really kind of drove that home for me.
Yeah, and before we jump into this next episode, I'd have to agree wholeheartedly, and I don't think I was able to put my finger on it until you said it so eloquently just now. But it's very true. Like, I've been obsessed with The Flash, obviously, since season 1 and, whatever, and we love Barry, but he absolutely has not been leading his own plot line. Everything has been bouncing off whatever Nora has going on, and a very reactive / passive type character, which is really different. It definitely changed the essence of the show. So, well, let's jump into this episode 21, The Girl with the Red Lightning. So there was a lot going on here. There was parts where I got lost, so y'all know you're gonna have to help me and fill me in, especially when Ralph started jumping into some of this stuff. The timeline stuff. But before we get into that, let's kind of talk about the hovering overall theme of getting the metas to safety. So we have we have the opening where we see Thawne. He's going to get executed, and then
hit 0.
Yeah, so it hits 0. It's time for him to go. Really, what do we? I mean, it's just going to happen, right? And that's it. We're just ready for this moment at this point.
Well, obviously, there's something was going to happen.
Yeah.
Something was up Thawne's sleeve. He was just diligently waiting, for that moment to happen, and he played everybody.
Yeah, I agree. And I have to say, I feel like I saw that come in. And then we have the chat with Grace and Daddy Cicada, Uncle Cicada, which I thought was kind of weird only because it's like this figment of her imagination where now she has this like angel on her shoulder that's like, yeah, let's kill everybody. This is all we got to do.
What's the manifestation of like what was in her head? I mean, she was in a coma for so long, hearing all these negative things. Mm-hmm. And of course, a little child impressionable will create what she needs to survive. And so she created her uncle and everything that he heard. Obviously, her uncle had redemption in the end and was just like, no, this isn't right. We shouldn't do this. And, too much of how she grew up influenced, just stuck with her. That's why she ended up killing her uncle.
Yeah. Oh, God, she's so nuts.
Brutal. I don't know. Did you like that? The fact that we got to see, Chris Klein one more time doing this like little over your shoulder talk kind of to her, like kill everybody, kill not just Central City, like it's the whole world. We gotta kill everybody.
It's also kind of like, it was fine. I mean, did we need it? I don't know.
No, it was not needed. I will say though, I'm finally happy that someone had a bigger plan, a bigger idea. I feel like every baddie here is just like, I'm gonna take over the city, and just like,
right.
Okay, take over the city. There's like the entire world.
Yeah.
Like, what's your grand scheme? Like his thing was like, we have to kill everybody in the world, like all the metas in the world, which finally like makes sense. I get it's a show and we're like confined to this Central City and a few other ones, but still, like.
Yeah. I have to agree. I mean, I guess it was nice to see him again. It threw me off for a second because he just seemed a little bit too real. So I was like, wait a minute, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But, I do like the whole sinister, like, because it helps us see where Grace's fuel is coming from. Not only from where it came from as a child, but to see that she's continuously feeding her mind with this particular voice. So I guess it was nice to see that in the flesh instead of just wondering why she's so extra all the time.
In the Flash?
In the Flash. Yeah, so, it was good. It was nice to see Chris Klein again. I missed him, and it's funny because I was thinking the way he's talking, the way he talk so slow. Like, it's just, so, it was just really, yeah.
Happy
It's
to be done
creepy.
with him.
Yeah, the dramatics, whatever. That was fun.
Creepy.
There can only be like one weird voice actor, like Thawne from season 1, always whispering.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Sorry, what? Did you say something? Huh? Oh, you were whispering. Right. Well, I'm like across the room.
Right.
Sorry, you have to speak a little louder.
Good thing I read lips well. Thank God. So now we have this thing. So they're the cryoatomizer, right? So she wants to make it rain. So it like wipes everyone out. The team comes up with a plan. Let's bring everybody into CCPD. They put it on the news, which was also a little interesting. But
Okay,
what do we
can you
think?
recap that for me real quick? Because I saw the news segment, but I thought maybe I missed something. All they said was Star Labs has a cure for the meta gene, right? Come down and they'll administer it. Was there any talk about like Cicada is going to?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was about Cicada is trying
I
to
missed
kill
that.
people.
Okay.
Yeah, they actually did say that
Over the news?
Yeah,
That's
that
great.
she was killing that she was killing people, which of course is going to cause panic. I mean, of course. I mean, how else would they? I mean, it's not like there's some secret hotline, that the meta belongs to, or some, chat or whatever that they could like somehow contact everybody in such a quick way. I don't think they necessarily thought thoroughly about, well, first, I don't feel like they estimated just how many metas. They say, oh, we can kill thousands. I don't know if they really thought that CCPD could actually
hold that
many.
They're inciting riots,
maybe they should have gone to a gymnasium or like the baseball stadium or
the
something.
whole reason why they went to CCPD was because they said like people will feel safe there. It's a cop.
But you could have it so
police
cops
station.
are around the stadium.
Yeah, because I feel like earlier in the season, weren't they all in some warehouse and
Yeah.
helicopter? Like there was plenty of space for them when that
That's
was
true.
going on.
But that was all the bad guys. I
Yeah,
think.
that was all the bad guys.
Yeah, I get why they did that, because they also needed to connect with the plot line of Joe
Yep.
starting to kind of take leadership, which was, heavy foreshadowing that he'll probably become like the chief or something soon.
That'd be awesome.
I think there's actually a mention of it in the Future newspaper, the newspaper that everyone keeps forgetting about Barry, disappearing in a couple
they're
of
in
years.
such a rush to like get rid of
Yeah.
Cicada. It's just like.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna disappear for some reason, they even like promised her this episode, we're never gonna leave you, and it's like, yeah, you will,
Right. If you don't get on that.
if you don't get on the fact that Barry disappears in a couple of years. But I think they actually mentioned in that Joe is like the chief or something.
It did.
Yeah.
I
So
remember
that
Okay.
basic, and it also gives a hint that we're heading towards that future, of Barry disappearing. So that was
Ooh, good connection.
That is
Interesting.
so
Making
good.
it happen.
Yes, girl.
yeah, the things are coming together. But yeah, I don't know if they really thought that out, but on such short notice, I guess,
Yeah, and I don't know if I was really buying that Joe was so nervous, but like, the way you connected it to what's going on, it would give us an opportunity to see him overcome something, and that way now be able to step in. And it was cute to still give him a little pep
I
talk.
kind of feel like this whole show has become something along those lines of like, let me give a little like disturbance of what's going on with the character, something that they have been very good at in prior episodes, but we're gonna just like touch upon it now and throw us for a loop, and then like they overcome it in the episode. It's like, oh, woohoo! It's getting harder and harder to kind of like I didn't care for that plot line.
It's a formula, that
Yeah.
they've totally kind of. It was the same thing with, and we'll get to it, of course, with Sherlock and Renee.
Renee, yeah.
And that whole
That was fast and
thing.
loose.
No, yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Let's
With
get
but
into
getting
yeah,
these
well,
matters
just
to
saying
safety.
that
Yeah.
I was actually going to touch upon the fact with the last episode too. They did that randomly with Caitlin talking to Ralph about love, and it was just some real weird scene. And they look like they're about to kiss, and then Ralph's like, "I just don't like you in that way," and it's just like, where did this come from? Why are we having this moment?
Right.
That was out of nowhere, but I think, man, I don't know that.
I feel like earlier in the
That
season
was
we
a
talked
very
about
weird
that.
one.
Like, are they gonna hook up? But I don't know
Maybe
where it
that
came
was the
from.
joke.
Yeah.
Maybe they were like, let's play on the fact that everyone thinks that one of these two people need to go together.
We have
so.
noticed that the writers, I guess, take note of what the
Yeah, it's
audience
fan
is
service
like
a
and
little bit.
Yeah, so
Yep.
that's definitely for them.
But yeah, Sherlock and Renee, that he was suddenly they're
She's
in
been
love.
gone for like this whole time, right? I guess we're.
Well, he's been
led-
seeing her in the background.
So we're
It's
led to believe
off-screen
that
love.
off-screen that was
Okay.
happening, all that stuff.
Same
Well,
thing with Camilla and Cisco. Great relationship now. He feels totally comfortable.
Oh,
All
yeah,
of
to
this
be
is happening
Facebook
off
official.
screen.
Okay.
Right. That's true.
Fair enough.
I could take that. Then he like pops up and okay, so yeah, Sherlock and his girlfriend. That was we were kind of making jokes about, you know, her just being like, I don't want to lose my powers, and he's like, I have an idea. Let's send you to my old Earth. I got homies there. You're good. Let's go. And it was like, oh my god, oh my god.
Way ahead of the game. You just missed out on so much with her.
No. I'm not going in order, but just with the girlfriend and talking about the metas.
Yeah, you're missing out with Renee. There's so much more that happened before that, prior to that.
Yeah, there is, but I just mean with her because we were talking about the girlfriend. But okay, well, let's talk about our next topic. But before we get into that, why don't you share a little something with the people? We missed you, and
you guys did miss me.
We did.
Guys, I missed you. So before we move on to our next topic, we just want to say that thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. For us to continue to grow, we could use your help. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, please give us 5-star rating. We need it all. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversations. We love chatting with you in this chat here. So being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us, and we truly appreciate you supporting us and doing what we love. So don't forget to tell your friends and keep enjoying our shows.
That part. And make sure you guys stick around to the end because we have some news and gossip for you. But before that, let's talk about Grace and Nora and sharing this one mind, and pretty much, of course, one of the major plot lines of this, where they're putting together the pieces and finding out what it is Cicada II needs in order to make this thing work. And now the team is getting to work on that. I personally liked the discovery of it not being Nora's anger that was still in her, but tying it to her still being tied to Grace's mind. What did you guys think about throwing that, like having that being a part of things?
Your own opinion?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I mean, it's just one of the things, like, they had this confrontation in their mind meld, and, you know, she starts talking to her real serene, like, I'm glad this isn't my anger, and she's all huffing and puffing and blowing your house down, and well, you know, Grace and stuff, and I'm just like, why do we need this moment? And then at the end of it, it was, they're at CCPD. Well, of course, she's at CCPD. All of this, and that whole plot line of her doing that thing with her mind was literally, I honestly feel like it was just the writers to give her a chance to tell her parents, guys, I'm an adult now. Yeah. I've learned all of these lessons. And I need to tell the audience this because nothing up to this point has actually showed that I've learned anything.
Right.
So I've got to tell you in this moment that I have. And let her do this, guys. And it's just like, oh my gosh, how much is Barry and Iris going to be the passive, like they're friggin' midlife crisis adults at this point on their own show. And I'm tired. I really have reached my threshold of this. Yeah. And that whole thing of her and Grace being connected, I was like, this is another contrived plot line. There's no use of her being connected to Grace. She didn't help anything.
You are hot.
Yeah.
You're on fire. All right. She's heated. Chauncey, go for it.
I'm tired. I want my show back. I want Barry and Iris to be front and center again.
I will agree with you. One, it makes no sense. First off, prior to that episode, we have Nora connecting with Thawne to get her into the negative speed force, which means if Nora is her daughter's parents, or whatever, the kid of Barry and Iris, she doesn't have a bad bone in her body. So technically, she was using Cicada II and her anger to feed into the negative speed force, but it was not touched upon at all in the last episode. And now they bring it into this, and it's just again another contrived kind of plot hole theory. And I just it frustrates me.
Yeah, no, you're right, because I'm not sure why they would need it, because after I saw on the news that they were all going to CCPD, I think it was just pretty obvious.
Pretty freaking obvious. It's like, I'm sorry, Flash, you could run around the city how fast? You could phase through things? Just make a grid out of it. Oh, there you are. Oh, and by the way, I'm pretty sure she's been chilling at Dwyer's old house.
She's been at his house the whole
Why
time.
are we looking where you found it the first time?
It is unreal. And then that was the thing, too. It's like,
where could she be? Where is she going? Well, before she gets to CCPD, maybe you check the cabin that she's been at for the last
better yet, let's put
weeks.
on the CCPD or on the news like a fake location, you know, and I don't know. That doesn't make sense, but
I don't know.
You know, people would still show up to that fake location. I feel like one, it was misdirected and misused, the whole connection thing, because it did pop up very briefly in multiple episodes, but I feel like it should have been utilized more if they wanted to capitalize on finally capturing her. Like, that's it. They captured her. It's done.
Right.
You know? I mean, I'm sure we'll see how it ends, but for the most part, we know the next episode is going to be all about Thawne and Flash, you know?
Yes.
Which I'm excited about.
I am too.
Finally, thank you.
Yes.
You know what? They keep saying, like, oh, another speedster for the baddie, but, you know, those are the best fights.
Yeah.
Those are the
Yeah, and there's history to it as well, and we've been building on that. And you know, it's always been fueled by, you know, Barry's his own hatred in a way towards Thawne's hatred and envy of him. So I think there's more base there because, like I've said, and you know, wouldn't be the first time I've said it, where I just didn't feel like the big bads this season, because there were multiple ones, right? They didn't land as well. Not because they weren't. I mean, the actors. I like Cicada II. I think like that fight scene with her, Killer Frost,
So
and
good.
Ralph was when she like finally that was power. I was like, whoa, you know. I was like, so the actress.
She Spider-Man'd it too.
Yeah, the actress is great.
Cool.
The problem is, I don't think this plot really, you know, meshed as well in terms of the stakes of it, mainly because as bad, you know, as she is or whatever, I didn't think it was justified that all of Team Flash could not beat her just yet. You know, that she's lasted as many. And I said that about first Cicada too. I'm like, I just don't believe that there's a reason, like, he could last this long. For the whole entire, like, for all these episodes, just this kind of character, especially when we think of the Thinker and all that other stuff. It's just like to go against characters like that, and for this, you know, it didn't make sense to me as much. But I guess we're realizing that the real big bad all this time has probably been Thawne. So
Always orchestrating so much,
which makes it a more satisfying payoff a little bit, because it's like there is that question of why is all this happening, and maybe it has been all of his mechanisms making it so they couldn't beat, like they just were out of reach of this thing, and this thing goes off, and just when they think they beat one cicada, the other one, because he all this time was pulling all these strings. So in that sense, it's cool, but it's only cool because if you think of the fact that Thawne has been controlling it all this time. So
Yeah, I would have to
Yeah.
agree with you 1,000,000% on that. And I would always have a sense of it, but I guess they're waiting for literally the season finale to reveal exactly how everything is going. And I'm not mad at it. But I do also think, too, this episode was kind of PC. I didn't get as much flow as I would have liked to. So there was parts of it that was hard to follow, and especially when you have all this stuff going on with the timelines and Thawne and this, I really want to understand what's going on, and some of the stuff that's thrown in there throws me off. But it was fun and cool just to kind of see, of course, the team doing what they do. The Sebastian Allens. Of course, I thought
we got old Cisco back.
we got old Cisco back.
His wittiness, and I was just like super happy about it.
It was really, because it was really great that I feel like this gives me hope that he's gonna stay around.
I'm hoping so too. And what's
past
really
this season
cool,
now.
what's really cool is not only did we get him back, I don't know if. I mean, I don't know, but if there's a connection here, but Sherlock was even like, oh, don't use your powers, use your mind. And that was like a throwback to like who he used to be in season 1, 2 before he got his powers, you know?
So good.
He was, like, that was the good Cisco that we all loved.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, he was like, use your other power, you know? I mean, it's always great that no matter what Harry we get, there's always that connection with Cisco. But that's because of the actors, their chemistry. And whatnot, so I always love that they play that up. But yeah, and I was almost a little afraid, like, when she was behind him, when Cicada was behind Cisco, I was like, she's about to stab Cisco.
Dude,
this is how we're about to lose him.
There were some quick moments with the like Joe also. And a few
especially with this being the episode before last. I was like, well, y'all heard me. I was like, they better not kill Joe. We just got him back.
We just got him back.
I was like, you better not kill Joe. But so I mean, the fight scene was really great. Like that climax was awesome. I just feel like a lot of the stuff in the middle parts of the episode, like you know, you wanted to talk about Sherlock and Renee, that whole, I mean, it was great that we got that she was a meta. I thought her meta power.
Oh, she was Magneto. She's Magneto.
Well, is it just metal that she can control though?
Yeah.
I thought she could just move things, period.
No, he said metallic.
He did say that.
I thought he said mag something.
Mag something. Well,
Close enough.
I don't know.
Was it
what
metal?
that refers to, but I thought it was metal. Chat, maybe you could help us out with that.
Yeah, was it just metal that she can move?
It seemed like it because the door opened and then the bench was thrown. Technically speaking, the dagger is metal, so she could just like push it away, but I don't know. That's like a whole thing that writers didn't want to think about.
Okay, well, we can have that.
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting. I did think they went from 0 to 60 with their off-screen romance.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of hard to believe that he loves just her because of the fact that every ex he has been her.
Right.
So it's kind of like, yeah, I think the world of you because I end up going out with you on every world. So,
yeah.
I don't know. And then he sends her to the other world. It's like, is not the other version of her not there?
Going to be there, yeah.
Right.
There's going to be another version.
Is that not going to be weird? And did he tell her that?
No. Because he sent her to his Earth, which, what was it? We don't know what number it was, right?
9?
Yeah, I think
Was
the
it
chat
9 or
said
2?
52.
I was seeing the chat say
52?
Magnokinetic. I think it was called. That's what Ivan's
Yeah.
saying.
Okay. Thank you, Ivan. In the chat. Yeah. So it was. I mean, she didn't pack anything. I mean, you heard me when as soon as she went in the thing, I'm like, she don't got no pets. She don't got nobody to call.
She didn't call
Mother,
anybody.
father, brother, sister, somebody.
Got anyone to
work.
say bye to? Well, I guess I'll just. I mean, I'm sure
just
they
gonna
can't call from another planet like that.
No,
so.
they can't. They have to have those little telegram box thing
Oh yeah, the box
holographic.
thing. Yeah, and she don't know
yeah.
anything about that because she just learned that there were multiple Earths. So how does she go from?
She's so cool with it
Yeah,
too.
she's so cool with it. She's like, come with me, and it's just like, wow, there's just so much you guys haven't talked about in this relationship yet.
Yeah, it was very quick. It went from like, oh, I want to give up my powers to wait, no, I love them because I'm bold and they're mine and I don't even care if someone's coming to kill me. Then it was like another Earth and I'm gone. It's just.
She's like, I want to live in my truth, but now you want to leave
Run
your
away.
planet?
Yeah.
He's
And
like, I have
Sherlock's
an
like,
idea.
I have friends, like, you know, they'll be able to watch over you. And it's just like, oh, here, just walk through here. It's like, okay, where are you gonna end up?
You
What's
gonna
gonna
sit
happen?
there with a note?
You know, like no food, no change of clothes, nothing.
That's some
like,
trust,
just
boy.
Go.
It was some trust.
Lord, bring me a man that I trust that
Although
much.
I think that was a plot point probably to get Sherlock
Probably.
out because they gave
Yeah.
her out. Once he's finished here, he could be like, well, I got Renee waiting for me on my planet.
Hopefully they don't kill him.
I'll come back, you know, when... I don't think they'll kill Sherlock.
Oh,
I
they
think
kill him
he's
every
been-
season.
No, they don't kill him every season. The other one got the lead. Did he get the lead?
One did die. Earth 2...
They get rid of him.
Earth 2 left,
Jesse's
came
dad.
back, and then...
Jesse's dad didn't die.
I'm pretty
No,
sure.
he didn't. He's in another Earth
He's
now.
another Earth. He was losing his smartness, but he ended up leaving, going back to spend some time with
At
her and
Earth 2,
stuff.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so I take that
they don't
back.
kill everybody.
All right,
The
fair
only
enough,
one they
fair enough.
killed was my dude who was the poet. I liked him.
I know.
They
That
killed
was
him.
sad. I remember that.
That was with Savitar.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Some of the chat is asking us to just touch upon Nora's new power.
Yes,
we
which
wrote
was
that, which
coming
was
up next.
random.
Yeah, so she can go invisible now? Is that what we're
No,
doing?
I don't think that actually makes any bit of a sense.
So was she phasing so quickly
That's
that
what
she
I
was
was thinking,
out of
that she
sight?
was clear.
And how could Barry
of
not
sight.
sense her?
Or hear or sense or anything. After all Barry and Iris has been through, she could sit up there and eavesdrop on a conversation
Barry
like that.
literally said, "I will know anytime if you come
When you
back
come into the speed.
and when you come back in time, I will sense you right away. I will know you using your powers.
Yeah. But she
You're
sat
in
there.
the same room and you can't sense your. I mean, he gave a quick little look back, like what
Like he
was that?
sensed her, but
Maybe he did that
didn't.
to allow her to sit there, and listen in. You know,
But
maybe he
we've never
did
seen
know.
Barry do that. Where'd the
Barry's
power come
fast
from?
well, I mean, she has that other reverse power. You know.
But for her to have powers and him not to even, like, new type of powers and him not to even comment, like, whoa, I couldn't do that, or how did you do that? Maybe you can help me out, and like, I can do that too for future stuff. You know?
They just threw it in there. I would have been more impressed if she was just hiding under
It
the
felt
desk.
a little contrived so that she could be in the room the whole time. You literally could have just made her peek outside of a wall from
She
outside
could have been
the wall.
behind
Like,
the door.
Yeah.
How
Or
many
under
times
the desk,
have other
or like-
characters done that?
Exactly.
Like that power could have been like used for a lot of different things
right.
throughout the entire season. And I'm like, no, now you go invisible with one episode left.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. There was some stuff in this episode that was little like, where are we going with this, y'all? Although I did appreciate Ralph being the focused
Thank you.
one.
Yes.
You know, I think they played so well on his
Chat was
detective
just
skills.
talking about that. Like,
Yeah.
he is the MVP of the episode.
He really
I think of the
is.
season. He's really has amazed
No one
me
wanted
so
to
much.
listen to that.
Which
No,
is
it
crazy.
Yeah, and it was like they
You could
all
see
were
the
so,
disappointment in his face.
because it was kind of like they were so they were so focused on the immediate that they didn't stop to think, what does this all connect to? Yes, the immediate, a lot of people could die, but wait a minute, she didn't have this. Well, he didn't realize that till later, but just like he's like, something's not adding up here.
Right.
Why can't these very smart people, because Team Flash is like scientists, Barry's supposed to be really smart.
Yep.
Sometimes they tend to forget that.
They nerfed him on that.
But why not, really sit down and try to figure some of that stuff out? I know they didn't have time so much so, but I don't know. I feel like a little bit more focus could have been given.
You know what's great about this whole build-up as well? The fact that it is build-up, because in the beginning of this season, he had no idea about time travel, no idea about multiple Earths, and when they tried talking about it, he had no idea. It was over his head, and I remember a funny scene where he walked out, and then later in the episode came back, he's like, I think I get it. And then brings out the board, and they're like, yes, Ralph, we know all about this already. And so it's funny to see how he came from and how he was able to process it all, and how he is going to be like the linchpin and kind of almost save, or try to be, to save everybody now.
Yeah, he figured it out,
And I really like that, and that's the way Team Flash has always functioned before. It was always really important to know your enemy. How do you know what you're up against if you're not willing to look at some of that stuff?
And everyone's just kind of rushing in. I mean, I just think it goes back to my thought process on how, Cicada 2 and even first Cicada could be so beatable, for so long that someone doesn't stop and think. Like Ralph said, something's not adding up here. Why is she so powerful? What is going on?
Yeah.
And then we realize she's always kind of had those powers before she even got here, which was a cool twist, I thought.
Yeah, it was, and it made sense the way he said it, although I could not repeat it if I tried. Okay, so we went to Nora, Barry, and Iris. So let's move on to. Did we cover everything with Grace and Nora? Yes, we talked about. She was real soft with her.
That was
we're doing a good job. Okay, I want to make sure I don't skip anything. So our last little topic, which we kind of touched on all throughout the show, which is Thawne being up to no good. We knew it. I just feel cool because I feel like I knew that he was up to no good, and there was no way that clock was going to run out without some kind of twist. What did you guys think when it was revealed that the dagger was the twist?
The dagger was going to be the thing that killed him?
Well, I guess
the
that
dagger
kind of
was dampening his powers. It was attached to him the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't catch that. So when the guard said, what fuels you is going to kill you, right? Is that what he said? And when he said that, it clicked in my head that like the lightning, the red that was hitting him was negative speed force. So I thought that's what they were going to do. Like they built some type of machine that will, take away his negative speed force thing. But the dagger part, I don't think it makes much sense, to be honest with you. Timeline-wise.
The way it seems that Ralph figured it out was the idea of, like she said, is that I didn't have this dagger before I came back. So somehow she got the dagger when she came back in the timeline. The question is, who gave her that dagger? And if she has that dagger here...
Well, no, when she came back in the timeline, she got the dagger from her uncle and killed her.
And killed him with it.
The problem is
that... No, she had two things.
Yeah,
she had two
exactly,
daggers.
Yeah. She had these two daggers, and then once she killed her uncle, she grabbed her uncle's dagger.
Yeah.
Okay, but she's saying she didn't have any daggers when she came back. That's what she's saying.
Yeah, because she...
not that. She said she didn't... She said she didn't... Back in her own timeline...
She didn't have the dagger.
She didn't have any daggers.
Correct.
Right.
It wasn't until she came back here to the past that she got the daggers.
Right.
So I guess the question...
No, I think she was talking about Cicada 1's dagger. Not... She came from the future with those two side daggers.
But they're different than the Cicada 1 dagger.
Exactly.
They're not the ones that take damage.
Correct.
Yeah.
She
because
has
she just
that of her
powers
own
them.
power.
Yeah. So the thing is that one dagger she didn't have back, but she's saying that what Ralph was trying to... What was on Thawne was the dagger.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the whole problem is that the whole season started with Nora saying Cicada was never caught, Cicada was never found. He ended up killing a bunch of people, and he was the one evildoer that got away from the Flash. Meaning, if he got away from the Flash, then how did they ever get his dagger? If no one ever caught him.
Radio silence.
Well, that's the thing. I think the twist is the idea that Thawne's been behind this the whole time.
Right. So I don't think we're going to know.
somehow he's been powering
That's
the
what I
dagger
think.
that is about to kill him. Or maybe once they use that gun, because remember in the last episode when they put it on the when they put the gun on the satellite and they asked where did it go?
What was this episode?
No, that was this episode where he was like, where did the satellite go? And he was like, who cares?
They don't know. Who cares?
But
right.
maybe it goes somewhere specific, and Thawne knows where it goes.
I thought about that, actually. That crossed my mind, too.
So it doesn't go anywhere. They said that it destroys it.
No, they said they don't know. They don't care. They're done with it.
Goes.
They don't care.
Literally, someone asked Cisco, where does it
Yes,
go? And
I know,
Cisco
but
was
in the
like...
episode prior to that, they said that they were getting that device because it is the only thing that can destroy the alloy and like the dark matter particles as well. So it just gets rid. It might what we saw.
I don't know about destroy. Didn't it say like break down?
Yeah, break down. So what we saw was probably like an entire just like. Imagine like a black hole just sucking everything into itself.
Okay.
It breaks down on itself.
I don't want to be super technical, but matter cannot be created nor destroyed.
Correct.
So
Where did
it
it
has
go?
to go somewhere.
Fair enough.
And
Okay.
maybe from
So with
yeah.
science, that thing might have gone somewhere. And the question is, maybe Thawne knows where it goes.
I have to admit that crossed my mind the exact same way. I don't know
I'm
why.
gonna defer and tell you, and I hope chat follow us here because I would love to know who's like not whose side, but like what you guys think. I think what happens is the whole reason why Ralph was like, no, don't shoot that, is because well, he probably didn't know anything about it in the future, but Thawne made it so that that dagger in the past will be destroyed and
it won't end up on him.
It won't end up on him, so that simultaneously when that thing, like the dampener or whatever was holding him like in, was removed. So when that's removed and then that thing disappears, it will disappear. He could just turn on his powers, kill everybody, and escape and do whatever he's got to do.
And that actually sounds plausible too. That probably sounds more. Yeah, that makes more sense.
That
the
does
question
make
is,
more sense.
like you were just saying though, how did they get the dagger from Cicada in the first place if Cicada was never defeated?
So my only issue, I think what could have happened is there might have been some type of secret force or whatnot that took care of Cicada and took the dagger and put it to use towards Thawne, where like nobody really
Maybe
knew
it was
about
Barry.
Because it could have been, but I mean they said that
Nora says that he never.
he was never found. So like he could have very well just died, disappeared. He never resurfaced, but he was never caught either.
Right.
So somebody could have actually caught him without ever saying anything, and they could have taken his dampener and.
But for some reason, they kept him alive for 15 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Thawne?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he probably went through due process and whatnot and was like, imprisoned. They can't just... Barry probably... It's probably going to come together where Barry caught Thawne and Thawne's going to be the reason why he disappeared and the whole getting of the dagger and it just wasn't recorded in some history and I don't know.
Well, the twist is, though, if you don't think about all of that somehow Ralph knows that if they destroy that dagger, that it's going to destroy the one thing that's keeping Thawne from being superpowered. So his plans got plans. And I'm sure he will give us the villain spiel.
Oh, yeah, we'll get the spiel. We'll get the
In
explanation.
the
We shall get the explanation, so.
Definitely. Well, we super touched on predictions, but before we get out of here, we do not want to leave you without our news and gossip.
Yes. So I'll make this quick. So 2 items of news and gossip. One is the Met Gala of 2019. And the only reason, because some of you may not even care about this Met Gala, that I'm bringing this up because our Flash family was actually there. Keenan Lonsdale, our very own Wally West, was there. If you remember, I did a news item of how he was in Vogue talking about the Met Gala and posing in the theme of camp. And he came in this, debut made it last night. A stunning head-to-toe mannish Aurora gown covered in 1,500 handmade and embroidered butterflies with a vibrant custom-made neon yellow bodysuit underneath.
He's living.
And
Yes.
pink long hair.
Yes. Let us know in the chat what you guys think of his camp. I'll remember it's camp, so he gets to be campy. It wasn't necessarily for, glam or whatever.
Right.
Secondly, the question is now being posed once again, should Grant Gustin star in the Flash movie? One of his co-stars seems to think so. Jessica Parker Kennedy, our
Star
very
in the
own.
movie?
star in the Flash movie.
That would be amazing.
She recently gave an interview with The Tomorrow Show, and she said, I think this is one of the first things I said to Grant when I met him. I was like, man, you should be the Flash in a Flash movie, because I just think he's perfect for the Flash. As the Flash. And so the question is, because of the Ezra Miller movie debut that was supposed to happen, like his solo movie, the release date of that came and went, so some people are thinking it's not happening, that maybe they're opening up.
Flashpoint.
Yeah, they keep pushing it back and back. So the question is now resurfacing, the murmurs that maybe, you know, Grant should throw his hat in the ring. So do you all think that Grant should play the Flash in the DC movieverse? Now that
He has
the
my
rumors
vote.
are happening.
I think, I mean, prior to seeing Ezra, I was like all for like, oh, this is gonna be a Flash, like just put Grant in, like that's awesome. But I think the Flash that Ezra made is something different than what we watch, and I don't know if it will ring right or true if they were to switch him out and whatnot.
I think that Flash that Ezra's playing is more of a Wally than a Barry.
It does seem more like
He's
a Wally.
more. They made him Wally. They made him like the Spider-Man perpetual young thing, and they could have just called him Wally, but they went with Barry because it's more recognizable, I think.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing Grant Gustin and I think it would be exciting, and it would create connection to the fans, the community, just because he's doing the show too.
Yeah, but then it would also make it mean like they would have to connect the two universes, and that would be like the DCU and the
But they could just make it
Arrowverse.
separate.
Yeah, fans will have an uproar if Arrowverse and DCEU would come together. Like they would have to make some plausible.
I think
connection.
they would make it so that he's just Barry for the DC universe. They wouldn't make it so that now the whole Flash team
No,
has
I know,
to go
but what
on.
I'm saying is I think there would be an uproar in the community where they're saying if you're doing that, then it has to connect. They have to be connected.
I don't think it'd be that much.
I mean, I guess I can
think
see where you're
DCU
going
just
with
wants
it.
a good movie at this point.
Yeah,
No,
film.
that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he could hold his own though in a movie.
Yeah.
He's great. I love him.
I
his
think he'd
acting.
be solid.
That'd be interesting. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I think as far thank you for the news and gossip. And I think as far as predictions, we already touched on a lot. So is there any other ideas that we have that might happen next episode? It looks intense. I know I'm excited about it. It looks like it's going to be good.
Well, I think Sherlock's gonna leave at the end of the season. That's my one prediction.
Okay.
So you think we'll get a new Tom?
Not until next season.
Okay.
Agreed.
Man, I'm still like torn between whether they're gonna actually kill Cicada II or if they're gonna like imprison her in in their time or in 2049 or whichever time she's from. So I'm not sure where they're gonna go, but predictions.
I feel like she might kill herself.
That'd be
Jeez.
interesting.
Like a self-sacrifice. Like I don't want to live in this world with you
Right,
guys or
yeah.
something. You know, like leave them no choice but to kill her.
Right.
Because
I
she's
think-
not, reforming.
I think Cisco's gonna get married.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just throwing that out of left
I'm
field.
like, wow. I'm like, I have a very photographic memory, so I'm like trying to put that in. I'm like, okay,
I'll
Thawne, Barry, there's all the, and Cisco getting me. Okay.
That's just that's a joke. Sorry. So. Not many predictions. We already talked a lot.
Yeah,
about
we
it, so.
really did.
And what's yours?
I am just really interested in seeing how this story unfolds with Thawne, so I can understand and feel comfortable about what the heck happened all season. That's
Are you
just me.
excited to see another Thawne Barry fight? Or
Absolutely.
Are you, yeah. Okay.
And not only that, but I love Thawne's wit. I hate him because of what he has done, but I also love that type of character, how grimy but very brilliant. So I just kind of want to know, like, what exactly is what happened.
The plan, yeah. How
Yeah,
do you
so I
orchestrate
can
it
start to
all?
connect the dots in retrospect and see, what he was doing this whole time. Because I'm pretty sure it's brilliant, and I'm kind of excited to see what the plan was. And not only that, but how it's going to end, because I know, season 6 is going to be fun. So I wonder what they're going to leave us hanging with.
Iris being pregnant.
Yeah, Libby
Oh my
B26.
God.
Love that.
Libby
Thank you.
B26
That's
said
good.
Iris being pregnant. I feel like that's
That's
a few years
weird.
off, though. It's probably a few years off.
It is. Yeah. Well, they haven't given her age at all, so that nobody can connect when that will actually happen.
Right.
Because it could happen this season, but they might hold off for another season.
Yeah.
That's good, Libby. Thank you.
Jazzy Jones, as always, thank you for watching.
Jazzy Jones. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us to talk about both of these episodes. We will be back next week, same time, same place, to talk about the season finale. So again, thank you guys for watching. I'm your host, Jaimi Alexander, and you can find me on Instagram at Jaimi Alexander.
And hey, y'all, it's Chauncey K. Robinson, and you can find me on Instagram at Miss Chauncey K, and also on my self-titled YouTube channel, Chauncey K. Robinson.
And guys, my name is Zach Silverman. You can find me all across social media at Zach with a CH, Silverman 2. Have a good night.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.